Hello and welcome back. If this is your first time, I hope you'll stay. Espero que te quedes. Now, this is not for GCSE Spanish. This is for my ESL students. Now, this is aimed for B1, B2, and I've taken the reading from Total English, this one, so you might have it. If you don't, even better. You won't have a little peek. Now, though it is a reading, we're going to use this for listening practice. So grab a pen, a piece of paper, or perhaps you just want to use your computer or your tablet. So we have two parts. Part 1, which is what I'm going to read now, and later part 2. You don't have to do both parts today. You can do one today and the last part tomorrow. If you feel that you rock to it, yay, go ahead. Okay, let's begin. So it's titled, How Does He Do That? Is he a mind reader, or is he playing games with people's heads? When I first heard about Derren Brown, I admit I was skeptical about his abilities, but something has always fascinated me about this man. Brown describes himself as a psychological illusionist. His shows are full of seemingly impossible feats, using different techniques, sleight of hand, hypnotism, and suggestion. In Britain, he is now a media star, impressing audiences with his TV shows and stage performances. He says that he doesn't have any special magical or mind-reading powers. He is not psychic and he cannot read people's minds. Apparently, everything he does can be logically analyzed. As I say, I myself am skeptical, but endlessly fascinated too. Every time I see one of his shows on TV, I'm drawn in. I don't want to care, but I can't help asking every time, how does he do that? In the early days of his career, Brown taught himself standard forms of magic and hypnotism and began performing in pubs and at parties. As he did more live shows, he realized that although he loved doing tricks perfectly, what really interested him was the relationship between the magician and the audience. He began working on a new kind of show, making more of the psychological aspect and combining the magic, tricks of the hand, with the psychology, tricks of the mind. Now his shows are full of his particular kind of illusion, sometimes simple and sometimes incredibly complex. In one episode of his TV show, for example, he tells people how many things they're holding up behind their backs. In another, he beats 6 world-class chess players in simultaneous games. I've seen him successfully predict the winning lottery numbers and state which of the number of salesmen are lying about their pasts. I've also seen him draw an almost exact copy of a picture that someone has drawn in secret and put in a sealed envelope. His tricks are diverse, but the effect is the same. The audience is always left staring in awe. So how does he do it? Perhaps more importantly, does it matter? Brown says he can explain everything he does. He himself admits, however, that it's sometimes disappointing that everything is explainable. It seems that everyone, including Brown, wants to be fascinated by the unexplainable phenomena. And maybe that's the key to his success. People love to be amazed. Even when he tells the audience how something is done, they still look at each other in disbelief. they still don't really understand. Or maybe it's that Brown is so clever and skillful at what he does that the audience just don't want to understand. The combination of tricks of the hands with tricks of the mind works somehow. We ask the question, how does he do that? But we don't actually know. We don't actually want to know the answer. We don't want anything to detract from our fascination and the enjoyment of what is essentially magic. Part 2. This is a letter. Dear Sir, Madame, I am writing in order to explain a problem I have recently experienced with your airline and to request that you provide me with adequate compensation. Details of the issue are as follows. I recently went to holiday to Spain using your airline. While I was there, members of your company went on strike, and many flights were subsequently cancelled, including my return flight from Málaga to London Stansted. When I phoned to talk to your representative in Málaga about this, I wasn't offered any food or accommodation costs or any information about rebooking my flight once the strike had finished. In fact, I was given misleading information and eventually rebooked a flight for 4 days later at double the standard price. Having done this, cheaper flights then appeared for sale, departing the next day. I was told, however, that I couldn't change the flights I had booked. I am very disappointed at this misleading information, the lack of immediate compensation, and the way I have been treated in general. I would be grateful if you would compensate me as soon as possible for the price of the return flight I had to book, and also for the extra food and accommodation costs that I incurred. I'm sending some details of these costs in an attachment to this email. As I'm sure you are aware, compensation of this kind is a legal requirement in circumstances such as this. Thank you for your help with this matter. Yours, Diana Jones.